Hey YouTube, welcome back to EagleX TCG for another Gundam card game video. Yeah, sorry for the slowing down a little bit over the weekend. I just was informed there was a death in the family very close to me, so I have just been kind of processing that, and it's been a little rough. However, we are back. We're going to ease back into content, and then I'll rev it right back up like we never left. And we're starting with an LR tier list because there's a lot to talk about with these, and a lot of people are trying to scramble for which ones they want. Some of them are expensive, some of them are not, but I think it'd be a good time to talk about this with you guys. So let's hop into it, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right. So taking in the criticism from last time, we will make sure that the card comes up for everybody to see as we go across here. We've got the tiers here. I'm going to say elite value. Elite value are the LRs. They're not only are great when, you have them in their best situations, but they're also amazing even when they're not paired or linked. That's going to be the mark of a top tier LR. And I think that's going to be pretty much the top, just the top of the crust, you know what I mean? You play them, they're going to get their value whether or not you pair them or link them. They're going to be most destroy targets for your opponent. Then the next tier is going to be elite with pilot, and these are going to be the ones that really do need to have their pilots, whether it be a pair or a link, to get their value. However, they are still extremely strong once they do. Now you have limited but strong. These are going to be the guys that just have their niche situations. Very like, they're very intuitive, like very strong when you have them in their deck builds, but they're going to need specific pilots, specific setups, things like that. Meh is going to be reserved for like kind of cards that just really don't have a place, cards that don't do enough, make you feel kind of like And then last but not least, the why though tier. Don't think many are falling in here, maybe just one, but the why though tier will be kind of like a weird, like, why guys, like, why did you build it this way? So starting off with blue, what we have here is the RX78-2 from the starter deck. He is either at the bottom of elite with pilot, or he's over here with limited with strong. The thing is, the moment he gets on the board, he's going to have repair 2, but he's only going to give the +1/0 to everything once he's paired. Now the repair 2 on what has to be, at least for the most part, a 5 HP body is going to be very good. He's going to be very good for eating small ability or small units. He can even be paired with Amuro in order to tap something and then just eat it, knowing you're going to get the repair. But he is kind of like low impact. He's a great card, but he's kind of low impact. So I'm going to put him in elite with pilot, and he's probably going to be the bottom of elite with pilot because I don't want to put him in limited but strong, because he still is able to pair with anybody and get the whole effect, making him pretty versatile. Tall Geese. Some of y'all may hate me in this, but I'm putting him a meh. Realistically, the attacking twice is really cool, but once you get into constructed formats, I just feel like building around Oz currently isn't there. Maybe one day when we get like, like a Epion card, we get Tall Geese 2 maybe, but at this very moment it feels like building around Oz is not necessarily the best way you could touch blue. This guy is going to be able to swing twice at the cost of 4, and that's pretty cool, but that is also half of your turn. And on top of that, his link is going to want you to swing into bodies, which is going to make this guy pretty much like a 1 to 2 shot cannon before your opponent just clips him on the way back. So I'm kind of weird about Tall Geese. Like I said, guys, please bring your opinions to the comment section. I will be going through all my comments. It's just that with the family matters that have happened, I've been pretty busy. We are going to go over with the Gundam from the starter deck, and we're going to put him in elite with pilot. I like this card a lot. The only issue is this 3/3 stat line. I feel like that really kind of gets it in there, but it gives repair to all of your white base team members, and then on top of that, it's going to draw if he is not the only unit on board when you play it. So if you have like a token, you play this and you pair it, draw. You have an Elfert blocker, you play this, you pair it, draw, and that's going to get a lot of value out of this card. Because it doesn't need a link, you can pair it with literally any pilot and is going to do that. So I actually do think this card is elite with pilot. Draw is very rough in this game, and to be able to draw and potentially support your entire board if you build around it, very good. He could be limited but strong, but I actually think this card is just pretty good. All right, first in the elite value, I'm going to put Unicorn Gundam. So the fact that Unicorn Gundam can just rest anything just by attacking. It's going to allow you to put down blockers. It's going to allow you to open up bodies to get chumped on before they were up to full speed. There's a lot that this card can do, and then it gets even better when you're using it with Venager to get the link, to make it an even bigger body to get the draw. It's even better when you're using the full unicorn combo. This is a card that on its own is a house, but just gets better when you add in all of its support, and I appreciate that. Now this one, I would like to put Banshee as elite with pilot, but we're gonna put Banshee at limited but strong. And the reason why we're putting this here is because to get the Banshee's effect requires you to have a link. So you can't just pair it and use it with an you have to have a link. The only thing Banshee links with is Merida Cruz. And what that means is that you're not just pigeonholed to splashing blue to use this card. You are pigeonholed to playing blue-red specifically. And just that alone has to put it down to the limited but strong. It's a very strong effect. It can destroy lots of units. It can close out games. Make no mistake, Banshee is a very, very strong card. However, you are forced to run a specific color combination to utilize this card. So no matter how strong it is, it's going to have to fit into narrow, like limited but strong. Then we're gonna go Char Zaku. We're putting Char Zaku immediately up in elite value. Like I said, draw is rough in this game, so searching top 3 for a Xeon / Neo Xeon is going to be the bee's knees. It's also going to actually find just that you're gonna be able to bust the EX base with it. It links with Char. Like, all these things are good, but at its very minimum, you're playing a body that will likely replace itself when it gets KO'd. It has good enough stats to contest EX bases and a lot of powerful, like, early game cards. It's just going to be great. I think this card is very, very, very not underrated. I think a lot of people know how strong it is, but yeah, this is elite value. Next card, Wing Gundam, elite value. You just put this guy on board, and the moment he can swing, he's going to be breaching 5. He can attack actives that are level 4 or lower, allowing him to pretty much pick off boards. You can't really keep a lot of things safe around him. And then when he gets his pilot Hito Yui and he gets the extra 3-2 or something like that, yeah, no, this guy is actually going to be disgusting. Well, he is disgusting already, but that's why he's an elite value. He's good on his own. He only gets better with the support around him. Let's go for Gelgoog. We're gonna put Gelgoog in elite with pilot. This guy is sometimes just an I win button. You just play him, you discard a card, you get the Char, you swing for Hi-Mo, and there's nothing they can do about it unless they can interact with the card directly. And commands aren't really in their strongest position right now, so it's very likely that that's not the case. And even if you bounce it to hand, you're giving them a pilot and a Gelgoog back to hand, so maybe that's not the best idea, like, I don't know. So yeah, but this guy is very, very strong. Of course, without a pilot, he is nothing, so he can't go in elite value, but he gets his own pilot as long as you've seen it once and it's gone to trash. So I put this guy in elite with pilot. I actually am going to put him above this. There's no real order to most of these, but I think I just need to keep this one at the bottom of it. Duo. We're gonna put Duo in elite with pilot. He's almost in limited but strong, but you can at least run Duo as one of your main pilots and it's all in the same color. When it comes to Duo, he is going to ramp you, and after ramping you, he is going to be able to swing that turn. He's got first strike, so he essentially becomes like a point and click missile while ramping you. This makes him one of the strongest cohesive, like, linking pairs I think in the game right now. The fact that he is going to actively ramp you and then be able to hit something with first strike is just very, very good. Duo along with this is very, very nice. Without the pilot, he's really just a vanilla. He doesn't do anything. He has to be paired, and then it's even better when he's linked. So I'm gonna put him in as elite with pilot. All right, Wing 0, straight up to the elite value tier. Whether you have a pilot or not, this guy's gonna come down. He has got high maneuver, and on top of having high maneuver, he is literally just going to deal everything that's 5 or lower, or less than 5, I think. Let me check that. Sorry guys. Let me see what we're looking at. He's going to put everything down, and he's going to, where is this? I have it in here. Sorry guys, I have it up on the side of the screen. There we go. So he's going to deploy all 3 damage to all units that are level 5 or lower, which means he's going to be able to pepper the field, kill all the weenies, and then potentially just soften up other people to be chumped out as well, or if they're already damaged, you can kill those too, or if you have a second one waiting the wings next turn, you'll finish off with that one. But with high maneuver, nah, this guy is good regardless of what's around him. If you can play him, you just slam him down and life works. Next card we got here, now that we're moving on to red, is going to be the Sinanju. The Sinanju is, again, a great card. You can play him for 5 when you have 6 resources. He is going to be able to deal damage to shields and then ping something for 2. But when you pair him, he's going to gain high maneuver, which is even stronger. And then if you pair him with full frontal, you're cheating out another body. This guy is incredibly strong. And again, he's just a good card whether you have a pilot or not. All these cards in the top row, if you think about it, can just be played out without any pilots, and they're still going to be valid threats. You look at the bottom row, what do these cards do if you don't really pair them? They just kind of sit there, you know what I mean? Your opponent's like, oh, wow, they played that. All right, could have been worse. We're gonna go into Aegis Gundam next. I'm putting him in the meh tier. The only reason why he's not in the bro Y tier is because I still do appreciate that Aegis Gundam can actively destroy like incredibly large bodies. Like if you pair it with Atherin and then you swing and you ping something for 3 and then you punch it for 5, you can get rid of a wing 0 that's paired, dude. Like, isn't that wild? You can literally punch into a wing 0. And I mean, wing 0 can get a little big. I guess wing 0 goes up to 9 and this is only 8 damage, but that's not too much more to deal with a red deck. You can work with that. But outside of wing 0 and hero, arguably the biggest body in this game's meta, you can destroy pretty much any boss card that's level 5 or higher with Aegis alone, no matter what. Like, he hits up to 8, and 8's an incredibly high number for that. And it's even worse if you give him first strike. If you give him first strike with like Blitz Gundam, you're gonna be able to swing in, burn something for 3 damage, and then first strike it for 5. So I really do think that Aegis Gundam barely saves himself from the Wido tier simply because of that. Then we got the Kshatriya. Kshatriya is gonna go to elite with pilot. I can't, like, literally it has no effects unless you pilot it. However, this is the red Neo Zeon backbone in my opinion. Being able to pair this and then ping 2 things for just like 1. Let me actually go over to it. So yeah, Cyber Newtype or Newtype Pilot, you're just gonna ping 2 things for 1. And then when you pair it with Merida, you're pinging 2 things for 1, and then every time you attack, you're pinging something lower than level 5 or 5 or lower for 1. So Kshatriya is actually going to be a very, very, very solid card. Very, very much so the backbone of red, and I think that it's a just strong pairing with Merida Cruz. It becomes almost a suitor blocker as well. You can't not focus on it when this thing is in your face, constantly getting value, constantly pinging things. Also, if you're running Kshatriya and you're running red-blue, then congratulations. Now Banshee has a home and you're gonna rock hard with it. We're gonna get Buster Gundam. Buster Gundam is hard to quantify because bro needs a pair with a coordinator pilot, meaning that you're gonna have to use something, you're gonna have to be playing like a Zaf deck essentially. On top of that, support 3 is very, very strong, and if he is paired with a coordinator, he is going to be able to untap himself when he supports, allowing him to either support twice or support once and attack once. This is all great and all, but he can only really be played in 1 deck, and that puts him at kind of meh or the bottom of limited but strong. But I can't put him on the same level as Banshee. That's just no way. So we do have to put him in mid somewhere. Unfortunate. Next we're gonna go to the Dual Shroud Assault. I'm gonna put Dual Shroud right here. Cheating bodies into play is always going to be nasty, but he has to look at your top 3 for a Zafty unit card with cost or level 4 or lower. So when it comes to that, he's very limited. Playing a body and then playing this guy for 4 and then pairing him for 1 and then looking at your top 3 and immediately crapping out another body, very, very good. Very, very, very good. And if you can chain these, you can build up your board without really doing too much from your hand. Like, you're losing 2 cards in your hand and then you're playing a 3rd from the top of your deck unless you whiff. I think this card is good, but I think he is the definition of limited but strong. Your entire deck has to be built like that. Let's go over to this. I'm gonna really put this over here at somewhere in meh, and there's a couple reasons for this. At the end of the day, when you have this guy at meh, right, as much as I like Ariel, there's a couple things about this card. You want to see cards that can get their effects multiple times, that can really get in there and like make their value. This is only when paired. Choose one enemy unit as level 5 or lower and gets -3 AP this turn. Only when paired, only has a level limit. You can't even hit some of the biggest things. You can't hit a Unicorn Gundam. You can't hit a Wing Zero. You can't hit a Sananju. So there's a limit to what you can even touch with this card. On top of that, you need to pair her with Suletta to get the best effect out of it, for her to be able to attack what she just minused. Otherwise, this is going to hinge on you having a board already in order to use this effect proficiently. This is kind of just like, that's the definition of meta me. I just don't think the card's that good. We're gonna go over and put Ailstrike over here in just elite value. You're getting your value out of it. He's coming down, he's a 4/4 blocker, but like that's already good enough. You're already going to be able to stop plenty of weenies. There's already a lot of things that can't get to this guy. However, when you pair with Kira, you're really going to be able to see this thing bounce something, be a like what 6/5 blocker, and then on top of that, you have the ability to do something as heinous as having Archangel on board and really turning this guy sideways every turn and untapping him. This is a very, very, very strong card, and once again, following the trend of being great on its own, but even better with the support around it. All right, now we're on Freedom Gundam. And Freedom Gundam is going to be pretty high up here. Massive, massive body, 4/6 on the defense. You know, like it's a level 7, so it gets out of a lot of different effects. And then not only does it have blocker, but during pair once per turn, when you pair a pilot with this unit or one of your white units, choose one enemy unit, it gains -2 during the turn. You can't look at a card like this and then look at the card like the starter deck Mercury or a starter deck Ariel and be like, oh yeah, these both cards are good. No, like this is what Ariel should have been. When this card or one of your other white cards is paired with -3 to something level 5 or lower, that would have been fine. Maybe even when one of your academy units gets paired with something. But this is the type of effect on Freedom that we needed to see from a boss card. This guy comes down, he's a filthily large blocker. He goes up to being a 6/7 if you pair him with Kira. And on top of that, every time you pair, you get to lower something. You could literally play this guy, pair him with Kira, lower something down by 2, swing with Kira, lower it down by another 2, and then the guy is -4 AP for getting crushed by this guy, only for you to Archangel it back up. This is an amazing card. Now our first but why though tier, we're gonna put Justice. Everywhere that Freedom was amazing, I think Justice is kind of doo-doo. Justice, it deployed, you deploy a 2/2 ship, a 2/2 token with blocker. So that's cool, I guess you make your own blocker, but it's a 2/2 with no level, meaning it's open season for every effect that has to like burn, rest, all these things. Then on top of that, during pair attack, choose one of your triple ship alliance unit tokens and it may attack the turn it's deployed. That's only during pair, and that's literally attack while paired. But it's saying the turn is deployed, which means that the only time you get value on this effect is if you play Atherin onto it to link it the turn it came down, the turn it deployed the token, to then swing and then swing with your 2/2 token. Okay, cool. Now that we've all discussed that, this card is really bad. Like, again, if you have some different takes, let me know. But I'm looking at this card and my constant question is like, why? Like why did you make this? How come it only deploys 1 token? How come during pair attack it can just deploy the token? Like, I would just say this token should have been maybe like a once per turn you play a token or something like that. And then if he's linked, when he attacks, he can attack with that token. That would have fixed this card and made this card like its own little advantage engine as long as it was on the board. But the way this is, you make 1 token that's easily destroyable, and then if you link it with Atherin, forcing you to play red-white, mind you, you can then make the token attack? Yeah, no. If we can get more triple ship alliance token generators, this card will feel much better. But as of right now, it's the general to no army, and that's going to be a problem. Now we're gonna look at Witch from Mercury. I keep saying Witch from Mercury instead of Ariel. This is the Ariel rebuild, and the Ariel rebuild is actually pretty cool. She is just going to get you a command card that's level 5 or lower from your trash, added to your hand, and this is when paired. So essentially, yes, you will have to pair it, but you were going to pair it regardless. Suletta is going to make this a 6/6, which is a great amount of stats, and you're going to be able to bring back whether it's you know, overflowing affection to dig if you're playing blue in there, maybe it's a show of resolve, maybe it's witch and the bride to have some extra defense. You know, you're going to be untapping some resources right here with Soletta as the link. There's a lot of things you can do here, and I think that when you build your deck to play this many command cards, when you build your deck to be able to cycle and use command cards as an integral strategy to your deck, this card is going to shine. So I'm going to put Gundam Aerial Rebuild in limited but strong. And there you have it, guys. In the elite value, we have got Unicorn, Sharzaku 2, Wing Gundam, Wing Zero, Sananju, Ailstrike, and Freedom. In elite with pilot, we've got Gundam Death Scythe, the Kshatriya, the RX-78 from the deck, or from the booster pack, Shar's Gelgoog, and the RX-78 from the starter deck. When it comes to the limited but strong, we got Banshee Destroy Mode, we've got Aerial Rebuild, and we've got Dual Gundam Assault Shroud. When it comes to Meh, we've got Tall Geese, Aegis Gundam, Buster Gundam, and the starter deck Aerial Gundam. And then with Y, though, we've got Justice Gundam. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that tier list. Thank you guys for letting me ease back into content. We'll be doing so much more here. I'm going to get some gameplay, hopefully get some games on record, and then be able to actually show you guys how I've increased my edits from that first gameplay video. Keep it frosty, guys. Stay tuned for more Gundam content. Stay tuned for more Fusion World content. And if you want to see Gundam content in a different avenue, on my second channel, Universe X, later tonight, I will be summoning on the SD Gundam G Generation Eternal phone game for the brand new Banshee and Master Gundam, so that should be pretty hype. But yeah, once again, guys, you guys have been the absolute best. I'm gonna go back and make sure I can get in on all these comments and reply to them. It's been a wild past week, and yeah, thank you guys for supporting me. I'll see you guys next time. Later. And also make sure that when you're looking at this, you go down in the description and you make sure you go to Risu the Squirrel. His page is going to be hosting the EagleX webcam locals for Gundam, and that's going to be your best way to see gameplay right now, your best way to see how the meta is shifting, all that jazz. All right, later for real, guys.